Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is great. If a sperm is wasted, Kier gets quite irate. Welcome to The Severed Floor, a mysterious and important podcast where we deal with the uncertainty of the Apple TV series Severance in a way that Kier would have wanted, together as a family. We also speak candidly about sensitive issues as they relate to the show, such as mental health, politics, bigotry, and sexual assault, because it's important to normalize these things. I'm Kelly G, lineage spill cleaner.
I'm Jazzy D-S, CFO of Just Handing Out Marshmallows.
That's a great job. It's much better than lineage spill cleaner.
Apparently people just don't hand them out. There has to be some real goals met before you can have marshmallows.
That's a shame. Well, marshmallows are for team players.
Only. Exclusively.
Yes, exclusively. I hope that you all enjoyed our little intro there. If you're a Monty Python fan, you'll recognize that. I had that song going through my head like after this episode.
I have it's such a deep cut. It's very specific, but have you ever watched Comedy Bang Bang? Or know the show from
I used to listen to the podcast.
Okay, do you know the character Dalton Wilcox, the poet laureate of the Cowboy Poet Laureate of the West?
Oh my God. It sounds extremely familiar. It's been so long since I've listened to that podcast. Seriously, like years.
Yeah, I love it. I love the TV show too, but it's an Andy Daly character, and he is a cowboy poet, and he just writes songs about having sex with holes in the ground.
That's amazing.
Because all these sayings, and they're like all these old cowboy sayings, and they're just about not having sex with other cowboys' ground holes. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's what Dieter is up to.
That is amazing. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to adjust my camera angle because I feel like I'm too zoomed out here. By the way, we are The Severed Floor, part of Cyborg Queen Media. And if you are watching us, we also have all of our coverage available on audio podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts. We cover our Severance. We put our Severance coverage on a podcast called The Severed Floor. That's SVR''D. So check that out if you prefer to listen to our coverage in the car while you're driving or whatever. If you are listening to this and you would like to see video, you can see us. Like it's not just our avatars up there. We're actually sitting here and grimacing and smiling and laughing too much and etc. And
according to the comments,
yes, exactly.
According to the reviews.
You can see us at youtube.com/@cyborgqueenmedia. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and now Blue Sky at Cyborg Queen Media. And we are at X as Cyborg Queen TV because they don't give us enough characters. Sucks. Fuck Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Eternally.
Yeah. This we are covering episode 4 of season 2, Woe's Hollow. The team traverses unfamiliar terrain. Mark and Helly explore their feelings. Irving harbors a growing distrust of a friend. This episode was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was incredible. I cannot stop thinking about it.
Yeah. And if you're a John Turturro fan, it was especially amazing.
What a performance. I feel like the whole team's getting nominated this season.
Yeah.
The whole team. I don't know if they've given Patricia a cut enough to do, but I know once they do, she's gonna get it.
Yeah.
But like Britt Lauer, wow. Like,
yeah, she was fantastic.
Incredible performances all around. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was talking to my husband about this last night, and I was like, they really like did not this didn't get the awards buzz that I thought it would get, although like horror sci-fi shows normally don't, and movies, but
Yeah.
I think the show got a nomination, and I think both Adam and Patricia got nominated for both Emmys and Golden Globes, but that's it. But like
Damn.
I feel like this season's like they got how are they gonna pick like every like
I
how are they
know.
gonna pick who goes into the supporting actor category? It could be anybody. It could be any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. One show that we cover that got some wins at the Saturn Awards is From. So,
Yeah. Shout out
yeah.
to the Saturn Awards. Thank you for
Yes.
existing. And
Exactly.
being way better than any I probably shouldn't say that, but
No,
being
for
way
sure.
better than any American award show. I'm just gonna say it because they have categories that make sense.
Yes.
They award a variety of things like there's like comedy children's programming, educational children's programming, like
Mhm.
separate sections for horror and sci-fi and musical and like comedy. Like it's so much so much better structured than any show we have, and I think so much more fair and representative of what people are actually watching.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
yeah,
Agreed. I've always agreed with Saturn's picks more than
yeah,
any other. So, hats off to the Saturn
yeah.
Awards.
People, I think they are important, but I really respect that award show, and I think it should be more mainstream and given more credit.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, so as I usually like to do, well, I stopped doing it for a while, but I always like to read a little bit of news or some commentary on the most recent episode. And today I've got something for you from comicbookresource.com, and just some commentary from Adam Scott and Britt Lauer on the episode. The fourth season reveals what fans have suspected for a while, that Helly isn't really Helly. In fact, her Audi has been pretending to be her since her return to the Severance floor. Whilst the reveal is certainly still shocking, despite some heavy clues in the first episode, Britt Lauer isn't dismayed that some fans figured it out. We have the smartest fans in the world, she said. They're so observant. It's like all of these detectives are going to work every time an episode has dropped. So we're all very impressed by it, honestly. Scott shared the sentiment with his co-star that fans' dedication to the show makes them so fantastic, adding, "We were all sort of on alert for trying to figure out what might be what might be tipping it off here or there. That's more of a technical thing as far as playing the scenes. And Britt had it all figured out from the start and knew exactly what to do, and it was brilliant. It will be really fun for people to go back and rewatch the first few episodes now, having this information." Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's I, I'm sorry, I'm still not concerned. I'm still not convinced that it was her the entire time.
Well, now they've said it.
I know, but I think they could still be holding back that,
Yeah.
that
I
the
I don't think that they would have. I think it has to be at this point.
yeah.
But so go ahead. What were you saying?
No, it's like if they could control the glass cow block like that, I feel like they might have just turned it on and turned it off intermittently just to kind of throw off the other
But
refiners. You
like,
know what I mean?
wouldn't Helly waking up
Yeah,
suddenly?
I guess so. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
like she's like, "Whoa, I was just being tackled." Like at some point, or
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, you're right. But somebody pointed out a big tell, which I had never noticed. And that is that when it shows everybody like going up the elevator when they go back,
uh-huh.
um, after the at the end of the one episode, um after they all decided to stick around, etc.
Yeah.
And it's what convinced me it was Helly, because they all they all put their keys in the same way, like everything was the same. But someone pointed out that the elevator did not ding when
Oh,
she was in
damn!
it.
I did not notice that.
So before we jump into the recap, I want to call attention to the shirt that I'm wearing today. The Antler Queens, the Yellow Jackets podcast. If you're a fan of Yellow Jackets, we're going into season 3. I'm still editing. I was hoping to have had it out before today. But I'm still editing our trailer episode. That will be up. That should be up tomorrow. I didn't want to put it up today because we're doing this episode and I wanted to get this up right away. But that should be up. That should be up on Monday. So look for that. And please join us on Sunday nights immediately following the cable viewing of the show. And we're going to be going live, and there's live chat. You can call in or just sit back and just watch us. Whichever. If there's enough people in the chat, we usually do fun stuff like, we play games, Mad Libs, that kind of fun.
Yeah.
But we also will have our recaps up hopefully every Monday. Actually, we're going to try to have them up even sooner if we can. It's just this first week might be a little tough because we don't have screeners for Severance, and Yellow Jackets is coming out with 2 episodes for the premiere. So
yeah.
But after we will at least have it up by Monday. After this week, then, or next weekend, then hopefully we will be able to have them up even sooner, like after the Friday night viewing. Crossing our fingers. But
we are diving back into the beautiful mind prison that is Severance. That show that makes your soul question if clocking into your soul-crushing job is really that bad. Today we're dissecting Season 2, Episode 4, affectionately titled Woe's Hollow, which, let's be honest, pretty much sums up the entire Lumon experience. Grab your Christmas mints and salsa and maybe a therapist on speed dial, because this is gonna get weird. Our poor beloved innies are stuck in a soul-numbing office all day, every day, and their reward, a mandatory outdoor retreat team building occurrence, or ORTBO. Sounds fun, right? Wrong. This is Lumon. Fun is strictly prohibited. Our MDR crew gets dragged into Dieter Egan National Park. We open on Irving coming to on the ice, a look of terror and confusion on his face. The team is spread out and have to spend quite some time getting back to each other. They gather on top of a snowy cliff, standing in front of one of Lumon's TVs, with what may be Milchick's creepiest video yet. The team's mission, should they choose to accept it, spoiler alert, they don't have a choice, is to find the 4th appendix of Kier's Gospel, because nothing screams team bonding like a hunt for an ancient corporate propaganda in the freezing woods. And their guides? Creepy animatronic copies of themselves, because why not make it even more unsettling? They eventually stumble upon a book detailing the tragic tale of Dieter Egan, Kier's forgotten twin brother, who, and I quote, became one with the forest by spilling his lineage on the ground. Charming. Milchick later reads this gem around a campfire, because nothing says team spirit quite like a creepy bedtime story about corporate mythology. Honestly, anyone would prefer corny trust falls to Lumon's existential dread spirals. Let's talk about Irving. Our former rule follower is now surprisingly rebellious. He's been side-eyeing Helly harder than we side-eye people in red baseball caps. Something about her outie story is just not adding up, especially this night gardener business. She's writing her own fan fiction for the Severed Floor, and Irving is not buying it. As our 4 adventurers trek towards Woe's Hollow, Irving playfully warns Mark not to trust Helly, claiming her alibi about her escapade during the overtime contingency does not add up. But Mark, being the optimist, waves off his buddy's concern. They stumble upon the carcass of a seal, and Irving suggests a gourmet meal, but the others aren't biting. Eventually, they reach the picturesque Woe's Hollow, featuring the, quote, tallest waterfall on the planet, which is hilariously small. Before Milkcheck guides them to the campsite he and Miss Wong, Sarah Bach, have set up for them, along with copious luxury meats and Kier-branded marshmallows. Milchick gathers everyone around a crackling campfire, ready to read another chapter from the appendix. And just in case you were worried things weren't going to be unsettling enough, everyone's favorite 12-year-old supervisor, Mrs. Wong, is there playing the trademark instrument of creeps, the theremin. Milchick begins to read the appendix Milchick begins to read the appendix hilariously recounts Dieter's bizarre death and Kier's encounter with the temperamental woe at the waterfall. Helly absolutely loses it during the story, a suggestion that Dieter became one with the forest after masturbating in front of his brother and being punished. Offending Milchick in the process, and resulting in him instructing Miss Wong to throw the marshmallows into the fire, much to Dylan's dismay. Marshmallows are for team players. Milchick and Wong leave, and things get a little spicy. Accusations fly, voices are raised, and Irving basically shoves Helly into the hot seat. He's convinced that she's an outie plant. And Irving, bless his heart, gets so worked up that he storms off into the woods with a torch, probably to have a good cry and maybe commune with the Dieter Egan forest spirit. Things are very tense, and Irving is throwing shade at Mark's obvious crush on Helly, and Helly fires back with a zinger about Irving's lonely heart yearning after Bert. Ouch. Emotional warfare amongst innies is something we really hate to see.
In a surprising turn of events, Mark and Helly decide to have a little fun in her tent, during which Mark briefly hallucinates Gemma's face popping up over Helly's. Afterward, she confesses to Mark that she's a bit embarrassed about who her outie is, but Mark reassures her he loves her no matter who her alter ego might be. Meanwhile, Irving trips in the snow, accidentally extinguishing his torch. He falls asleep in the woods, and we see the most batshit crazy part of this episode, Irving's nightmare. MDR cubicles in a spooky forest. Moths are swarming his computer screen. Moths. Symbolism alert. Transformation. Hidden truths. Or maybe just moths. Who knows with the show? Bert G makes a ghostly appearance because Irving's longing is basically a character in itself at this point. Then the gaunt bride known as Woe shows up. She's tapping away at her desk. Meanwhile, Irving starts seeing patterns on his screen. Letters, numbers, all jumbled up. But then the letters start to form words, or rather a name. Egan, repeatedly. Suddenly, the gaunt bride is right in his face, and Irving wakes up in a cold sweat, probably questioning his entire existence. Now, this is where things go from weird to holy crap, what just happened? Irving, bless his sleep-deprived brain, actually pieces together the nightmare clues. Egan, Egan, Egan. It hits him like a ton of bricks. Helly isn't just any outie. She's an Egan. Only an Egan could get away with sending their outie to the severed floor. Imagine finding out your annoying coworker is actually the CEO's daughter, except, about 1,000 times more sinister. Irving, armed with this earth-shattering revelation, confronts Helly again. This time, he's not messing around. He practically is vibrating with intensity. Helly denies it, of course, but Irving is persistent, relentless. Then, in a moment of pure, unadulterated desperation, he grabs Helly and drags her down to the foot of the waterfall. Hearing the commotion, Mark, Dylan, and Milchick rush to find their missing companions. Finding Helly, Irving's captive, Milchick demands Irving free her. Irving repeatedly yells at Milkshake to turn her back, telling everyone she's both an outie and an Egan. He threatens to kill her and begins to dunk her head underwater over and over, appearing to be ready to make good on his promise. In her terrified state, Helly cracks. "Do it, Seth," she screams. The truth bomb has landed. Irving, in one of John Turturro's best line deliveries, looks at Milchick with an expression of smug anger and yells, "Yes, do it, Seth." Milchick, sweating bullets, tells him remote contact to remove the Glasgow block. Ding, we hear the familiar sound, and Helena Egan is gone, replaced by the traumatized, waterlogged innie, Helly. Closing out the episode, Irving and Milchick have a brief face-off as Mark comforts the terrified and frozen Helly. Milchick orders Irving to walk into the forest, telling him he will be completely erased. Lumon will make it seem like Irving never even existed. We end on a shot of Irving, mirroring the beginning of the episode. Only this time, instead of fear, his face is full of peace and satisfaction as we once again hear the familiar ding. Between the waterboarding and the threat of the complete erasure of Irving B., the episode is full of brutal, shocking moments. And honestly, if you're not hooked on this show by now, I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of hooked, if you're loving these deep dives into the mind-bending world of Severance, then do us a solid and hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it's less soul-crushing than working at Lumon, and it helps us keep bringing you these breakdowns of all the corporate craziness. Plus, you don't want to miss out on our upcoming Lumon deep dive, including the hidden importance of our favorite terrible self-help guru, Rick and Hale. So click that button. You know you want to. Don't make us activate your Glasgow block. Woe's Hollow is a turning point. Helly's true identity is out. Mark and Helly will both have to grapple with Helena's sexual assault of these innies. Irving's career is probably toast, and the MDR team is officially fractured. This episode gives us answers, but leaves us with even more questions, which, let's be honest, is exactly why we keep coming back for more. We still have 6 episodes to go in season 2, and we're absolutely here for the corporate chaos. Let us know your theories in the comments. And now on to the discussion.
Yeah.
What a batshit crazy episode, man.
Yeah.
I just, there's so much to talk about. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a lesser appreciated person in this episode, and that is Dylan for for providing some levity throughout the episode. In just his sweet Dylanness.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot to do.
Yeah, he didn't.
I really loved the seal scene.
Yes.
When was it the seal scene? Yeah, where Mark's like, "We know you didn't have a good time last time you went outside, Irving," and he's like, "Who told you that?" And he's like, turns and he's like, "What did you tell them, you idiot?" And Dylan is like, so hurt.
I know.
Like,
actually, no, he called him a dumbass, which is even better because that made me laugh so hard. For some reason, hearing Irving call him a dumbass just cracked my shit up. But let's talk about that for a second, real quick. If Dylan didn't say anything, I feel like Dylan would have fessed up if he had said something.
I mean, I don't know why he didn't, like, he came back having a freak out.
Yeah.
He came back freaking out, and then he closed himself in the bathroom and didn't come out for, like, hours.
Yeah.
I think they all know he didn't have a good time outside. Like,
right.
I don't think Mark was making some, like, secret knowledge, you know, or anything. He was just like, yeah, obviously you were freaking out when you came back, so I don't know. I don't know why he thought that they were, like, it's not, like, he clearly came back from having a bad time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, that's what I thought, but the fact that he called it out makes me think that there might be something to it. Like, we may have seen a conversation between Mark and perhaps Audi Irving. That I mean, that may have happened, like something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Or, you know, Mark finding out stuff from Mugabe.
I mean, just from the top, like, this is not at all where I was not expecting anything that happened in this episode. I really thought we were going to pick up where we left off, and like, where we left off is basically unaddressed. Like, we don't ever, we have one little tiny, you know, blip of Mark switching back and forth, but like, how is that working? Like, has he not fully reintegrated? Does it take a couple days? Like,
Do you think there might be some stuff that we're not privy to yet?
I mean, there has to be. How did they even get them out there?
Yeah.
Like, they have to be in some kind of like stasis or sleep, or like, because there's no way that Mark's outie, or not, Irving's outie, let them march him out onto the ice, like fully conscious and awake, and leave him there.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Like, so they
No.
had to have done something to them. We don't even know when they took them. Like, it's bananas.
I love the amount of F-bombs that Irving dropped in this episode, by the way.
Yeah. Heavy on the F-bombs.
Yeah. People, like, I heard a couple comments from people thinking that was the first time we've heard Irving drop an F-bomb, but it's definitely not.
No.
Yeah, we heard it actually in the very first episode when they were talking about when he was when Dylan was talking about perks, and Irving was like, in the old days they filled up the creamer and shook our hands, and
Yeah.
and Dylan's like, that's fucked, and Irving's like, yes, very fucked.
He also said bird is not a fuck. So
Yes.
there's some examples.
And he called Milchick a smug motherfucker.
Yeah. See, Irving be cussing.
Yeah. Yes, Irving is not afraid of an occasional F-bomb here or there. It's God, there were just so many, like, he was downright sinister in this episode.
Yeah. I was like, what is wrong with him? Like, I really was like, I don't get why he's like being so pissy, why he's so agitated, why like he's so antagonistic, and then he was fucking right the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it was what a well constructed episode. Like, I was irritated with him.
Yeah.
The whole episode. I was just like, what is Irving's fucking problem right now? He needs to like chill. And then no, he didn't need to chill. He was right. Like
and he straight up sacrificed himself to bring Helly back.
Yeah.
Like that's just fucking bananas, man. But I mean, the satisfied look on his face.
Yeah.
At the end was
him
just
holding
beautiful.
her really like, oh. He just kept telling everyone it was gonna be okay. Like, it's not gonna be okay.
I know. Oh. Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Like, I'm just, I'm looking at these photos again. Just like, look at just how in Milchick's face he is.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, I said this, I mentioned this on Twitter today, that we don't normally make a point of crushing on the guys, but Severance kind of makes it hard not to with these two.
Yeah, it is true. It is true.
But seriously, look at that just satisfied look on his face. He's just like, I don't give a shit.
So peaceful.
I know. He does not give a flying fuck.
So, like, is it in some way like he's going to be with Bert because Bert is also gone?
Well, we know there's some bleed through
that. Yeah.
So he has a lot of power that Lumon might not know about. And we know a couple of things from the trailer and from promotional photos that have come out and from photos that have been posted on social media, that it appears that he will be back at Lumon.
Yeah.
What scares me about that is it gonna be the same Irving B that we know?
Yeah. I said this during the live, but I feel like this is where we're really going to see what these chips can do.
Yeah.
Like, because what they're supposed to do is only switch between innie and outie personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But their chip is what activated when they woke up in the snow.
Yeah.
So it had them in some kind of stasis or like sleep or, low power mode. I don't know. But like the way that Milchick's talking, he said he's going to be erased. It will be as if he never drew breath in this world. Like they will remove any trace of him. Are they able to do that? Are they able to remove him from everyone's memories? Because
here's my
that's
theory.
been discussed with the outies.
Yeah. No, here's my theory. Okay. They don't, obviously Lumon doesn't realize this, but that won't work with Mark because Mark's
He's
reintegrated
reintegrated, yeah.
But here's
will they know that if they go to like mess with his chip and like if they go to like remove Irving from his memories, will they know that he's reintegrated, do you think?
I don't know. They may like I mean, I don't think they're going to be working with Ragabi anymore now that they know that she's out there. Like,
yeah,
they knew she was working with PD. That's a good question. That's something I hadn't thought about. But here's my prediction. I don't think we're going to get a replacement for Irving. I think we're going to get a replacement, but I think it's going to be a new Irving B.
Yeah.
But it's only going to seem that way. And I think that it's going to be revealed later on in private that he's still the same guy. But he's playing it for, he's playing it up for Lumon. Because I think I don't know. I mean, his outie clearly has a lot of knowledge and a lot of power.
Yeah.
And I think I just have a feeling he'll be able to do something to avoid like his persona completely disappearing and starting anew, like he probably did with Bert a million times,
I feel like if they are able to do that, they will, and they will be able to find the rest of the team. It'll become part of their mission to recover his memories. Maybe even like all of his, we don't know if your theory is correct, if our theory is correct and they've been erased over and over, does he recover all of those timelines or
oh man,
really can't wait to see what's coming next.
I think we will spend more time with outie Irv, which I'm pretty excited about. I mean, in fact, I think that this was in a way kind of a blessing because it'll give us like more of a focus on outie Irving because he's so fascinating. We still don't really know much about him.
Yeah.
We've seen very little, but we know that he knows a whole lot. And that he's like sneaking around, leaving messages for Bert or Ragabi or somebody. And I did see some photos over the weekend that seemed to have been posted on social media. I don't know if it was the Apple TV account or what, but they were posting photos of Bert and Irving together on the outside.
Ooh.
With radar.
Oh boy. It was exciting news all around.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look like anything of note. Honestly, it could have even been a filming behind the scenes episode. Who knows? Behind the scenes shot. Who knows? But it looked to me like it was from the show. It looked like they were sitting in either like it looked like I couldn't tell if they were like pews in a church or if they were like bus station benches. Like I couldn't tell. but they were sitting on what looked like a church pew, and then I saw radar. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But I'm excited to see more Radar.
Me too.
I'm choosing to believe it's their wedding and Radar is their witness.
No, they're groomsmen.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, he's the best boy. Instead of the best man, he's the best boy. But I've been seeing a lot of what's up?
Nothing. My cat's right here
Oh.
in his little comfort seat so that he doesn't get separation anxiety if I do anything else. But now he's moving, so he's showing up on camera.
Sweet thing. I see his little ears.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of comments about how people are really not wanting a pregnancy storyline, but I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it, honestly.
I'm the first person to hate a pregnancy storyline. I've said that on every podcast we've had so far.
Yeah.
I hate pregnancy storylines. I hate watching people give birth on television. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's body horror. It makes me sick. Hi, Jinx. Hi, baby. But yeah, this is happening and I don't hate it. I think it's pretty, I don't want to say think it's pretty cool, but I think it's an interesting twist. Yeah.
I think it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's completely horrifying.
Do you think that was her intent?
I think so. I think it was.
I mean, she knows what condoms are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't have sex ed on the severed floor. I don't know if any Mark is aware of condoms or contraception at all, but they know what sex is. So Helena knows what a fucking condom is. She knows what she was doing.
And and plus they just had the whole story about Dieter spilling his lineage on the soil.
Yeah.
So, they can't let Mark's sperm go to waste.
Can we talk about how Helena, this fucking super privileged daughter of a rich family, ruined marshmallow time for people who basically live on raisins and pistachios? What an evil fucking person.
Oh, and salsa, by the way, which what are they dipping in that salsa? They didn't say they were giving them chips.
No.
They're supposed to eat salsa with a spoon, I guess. I don't know.
Right? That is low carb, low calorie. I don't know. It's vegetables.
Helena is just pure evil. She ruins marshmallow time. She ruins marshmallow time. She rapes Mark and Helly.
Yeah.
And she's now likely going to force Helly into a pregnancy.
Yeah.
like what the
She's
absolute
evil.
Yeah. And
it's great. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say that this is and I mean this has been heavily hinted at since the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Mark watching the news show with Natalie on it where they were talking about an innie getting pregnant at work.
Mm-hmm.
They had Gabby Arteta, the congressman's wife, who or senator, whatever he was, using Severance for her pregnancies.
Yeah.
And we also have just a lot of fertility symbolism and all the babies in the opening credits and the baby cure and I just it's absolutely horrifying what they're putting Mark and Helly through. But I love the fascinating turns that the storyline could take if she is
absolutely
pregnant.
Yeah.
It's horrifying, but horrifying is entertaining sometimes.
The pregnancy aspect of it has been the most upsetting part for me because the whole storyline of her, the senator's wife's innie, is it's disturbing and haunting and upsetting and I don't want to see our Helly have to go through that
No.
at all.
No,
At
I really
all.
don't. It breaks my heart. It's like it's just it's absolutely horrifying, but it'll be brilliantly fascinating at the same time.
I'm not looking forward to the conversation they're gonna have to have either, because she's gonna be so hurt he didn't realize it was her.
I know. Yeah,
Ugh,
I didn't think about that.
it's
I
gonna
didn't
be
think about that
it's gonna
angle. Like,
suck. Yeah.
yeah, God, there are so many layers to that. It's just, oh my God. The show is so brilliant, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. It's to make me, it hit me a couple of weeks ago just how important like love and relationships are in the show.
Mhm.
And more so than you would ever expect with a show like this. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
very strong theme. They're very central to the show, like all around with almost all of the characters. But they do it, and I'm somebody who just typically just isn't really into that in my TV shows, but
Mhm.
it's fantastic. It's
It's not romance. That's what
right,
I like about it. It's not like, it's not romance isn't the heart of the show, but like
right.
it's more about the power of relationships and love, and I that's what I like about it. It's like found family and you know trauma bonding, and that what develops between people who are in terrible situations, like,
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, and most of all, it's about what makes a person,
yeah,
and a lot of that is their relationships with other people and what they mean to people. Um,
absolutely.
so I mean, it's a super important part of the story, but it's done in such a non-trivialized, superficial way that I just love. There's nothing shallow or superficial
Yeah.
or vapid on this show. I mean,
I
it's
thought some of
just
the best acting in the whole series so far was in the last episode where Merritt Weaver hugs Zach Cherry, and Dylan and his wife hug at the end, and he doesn't know how to process it. Like, she
yeah.
hugs him and she tells him he loves him, and he's like, yeah.
I just met
Like,
you. I don't know what to
yeah.
do.
I've never been hugged. I mean, he's had some waffle parties for sure. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's completely never been touched, but he's definitely never been held. He's
And
never
he doesn't
been
know
told.
how to process that because he's already in love. He's already told Goatman that he loves him.
Yeah. He's in love with Miss Casey. Um, yeah. It's the writing on this show is beautiful. It's so well done.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I just like did you I mean, did you kind of have was there any moment in this episode that told you that yeah, this is Helena? I mean, before Irving called her out, obviously.
Not me, no. My husband, when he was watching it, he said that he had picked up on it almost immediately, because she wasn't reacting when they rolled out the video. She had like no reaction,
Yeah.
and I started feeling weird about her in that fireplace, like the campfire scene where they all get in a fight and she is mean to Irving. The thing
Yeah.
that tipped Irving off, because I was like, that's weird, because
Yeah.
she's never mean like that, like, ever, especially not to the other MDR guys.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I can't imagine what was she doing down at the waterfall in the morning. Like, what do you think she was doing down there?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like just maybe admiring Lumon's technology, because I'm convinced it's a simulation.
The
And that they weren't
tallest
actually
waterfall in the
outside.
world. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it honestly, it could be kind of halfway. It could be that they were actually outside, but Dieter Egan National Park was Lumon property, and it wasn't actually open to the public, and it was like,
Oh yeah, that was my assumption, is that they
yeah,
own some state park or something.
yeah.
Um, yeah, or if anyone has holodeck technology, it's probably going to be Lumon.
Seriously. But yeah, I wonder, like, what do you think? Do you think that if Helena is in fact pregnant, like, what do you think? If she is in fact pregnant, I'm sure she planned it.
Yeah,
Um, but do you think that that she's going against Lumon and planning it, or do you think that Mark's sperm is sacred and that Lumon wanted him to knock up Helena?
I do not know. I mean, no, I don't think it was ever a part of Lumon's plan to get her pregnant with Mark, because like they're seeking the overtime contingencies, like, through a wrench in everything they were doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was like a rogue choice by Helena, if it's anything. Um yeah, I really don't know. What a fucked up thing to do.
Seriously. I
So
wonder
awful.
I wonder if she's gonna try to use Severance to avoid her pregnancy.
I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, well,
You deal with it.
she already would, like, not have to deal with it for the entire time that they're at work, because
Yeah.
it'll be helly. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be so uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna sound morbid, but you don't think that maybe the melon party thing that we saw, you don't think that's gonna be like an in memoriam thing, do you?
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
hope not.
I hope not too. Like, that would really suck.
If my Miss Cobell theory, I said this on the live, but if my Miss Cobell theory turns out to be true, then Helena also being pregnant would really, like, tie everything together,
Yeah.
and mirror that, her being the, like, CEO's bastard daughter or whatever, and
Yeah.
Helena being the future CEO also having, like, an illegitimate offspring, bringing it all back. But we will see.
Yeah.
We're
Um,
definitely getting some real tasty Patricia Arquette scenes coming up.
yeah, seriously. Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen her in a minute.
Mm.
So I'm excited to see her on our screens again. Um, let me ask you, what do you want to see? What kind of aftermath of this episode would you like to see?
That's so complicated.
I
I
mean,
want
within
like
Lumon.
I want Helly to be able to come to work. I want Helly to be able to exist, but I also want Helena Egan to be in jail as
Yeah.
a rapist.
Yeah, seriously. But if she is in jail, that's like the crazy thing. If she is in jail, then Helly R
It
does
doesn't
exist.
exist. Exactly. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what do I want? I want more clarity on what's happening with Mark and how reintegration works,
Mhm.
because I don't get that at all. I don't understand. I thought that it would be more immediate. Maybe I just don't understand how it's working. But
Yeah.
I mean, we did. I guess PD had PD had been reintegrated for 2 weeks by the time we met him. But
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like I really thought that would be a bigger part of the episode, the whole reintegration thing.
Same.
I definitely want I want more Audi Irving, uh, and more Irving in general. I just really love Irving. Man, I don't know. I want everything. I want at least 15 more episodes.
Same. God, I really, I forgot what I was going to say. um, no, I would love to get some flashbacks of Petey's reintegration while he was still at
Yeah.
Lumon, and have something to compare it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like he didn't leave; they fired him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cobell
I
started suspecting he was reintegrated, and she
yeah
went to the board, and they were like, "No, reintegration isn't real. It doesn't exist." And then she sent Grainer after him.
yeah yeah
Yeah. But they did
yeah
get his
I
chip. Did they
what's that?
exhume his body? They got his chip. They got Petey's chip back.
Yeah
So did they
yeah.
exhume his body or steal it from the funeral home or?
I don't know. They might just put his chip into somebody else. Who knows? You know, they might fix his
Ooh.
chip up and put it into someone else.
You know what I really need to know is what the fuck is the deal with Mrs. Wong? Miss Wong. Like that's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Explain the 12-year-old, please. Right now. Right
Um,
now, today, immediately.
you know what's freaking me out is their twins that we saw,
Yeah.
because I feel like they could be very rough drafts of clones.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like we saw how Miss
I got
Casey.
shots at the I got shots of all the twins and I forgot to send them to you.
Oh, okay. No, we saw how Miss Casey, was a little bit different than
Yeah.
the other employees. And Ms. Cobell explained that part-time innies aren't as sophisticated
Yeah.
as full-time innies. But the guy who played Mark's twin was actually the same guy who was standing in the hallway in the first episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So,
weird.
like, it's interesting that they brought this guy in for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Is he Adam's regular stand-in?
I don't think so.
Interesting. That's normally what they would do, is just use their stand-ins to give them the pay bump.
Yeah, his
Oh,
his name is Adam Jepson, I think.
interesting.
Um,
I
but
wonder what that means.
yeah, yeah, it's super interesting. I wonder if it's like a threat that they could hold over their heads, like, we can replace you with clones of
Yeah.
yourself, you know?
Just
That would be
fire
kind of
your
a
Audi and you'll still be working forever.
yeah, I mean, imagine if Irving B shows up to work and everyone's expecting it to be the Irving B they know and love, and it's just like some weird guy, you know? It's
Yeah.
like it looks like Irving, but he seems nothing like Irving B, and he's like, I don't know, he doesn't talk the same. He doesn't talk very much at all, or he just seems like a rough draft kind of almost, you know?
Interesting. Yeah. No idea.
That would be
Ooh,
creepy as hell. Um,
don't like that.
I know, I know. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we need 10 more episodes, because I feel like there's so much that needs to be explored in this
It's
season. And
ending way too fast. It's coming up quick.
yeah, seriously, it's 6 more episodes. They have 6 episodes to finish everything. So I'm a little terrified. But
guess it won't be nearly as long of a wait between seasons.
God, yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows with the fires affecting everything, you know?
Yeah. Well, they don't shoot here.
Oh, that's right. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's New York. I forget. Um, did you think I want to get your opinion on this. Did you think that there was something strange about Milchick in that recording?
Yes. There was something strange about Milchick, period. But yeah, the recording was like extra menacing.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. It was so weird. He was so weird this whole episode.
I mean, honestly, in that video, he seemed like an animatronic Milchick.
I can see that.
Like he seemed, I mean, it didn't even seem like him. His face was completely dead. I mean, he just had like his face never changed.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was glitching. It was very creepy. I don't know. It was highly sus to me.
Super weird. Everything was super weird. And like, why, if he knew it was Helena making the dick jokes and whatever, did he freak out like that and like get all pissed off and throw the marshmallow? Is it because Mark was laughing, or
I honestly think that there's a chance that he might not have known. Like, obviously,
he definitely knew, because he knew, because when she called out to him, when she was like, "Seth, just do it," you know,
well,
like
then he knew
immediately. Okay,
then he knew, but I mean, you know, he may not have known for sure.
I feel like he had to have known.
You think so?
I
would love it. I would love it if he didn't know and they kept him in the dark, and that really pissed him off.
Yeah, those are the only two options, is that he knew the whole time, or that they didn't feel it was important to tell him and he's going to flip out. But I feel like he had to have known. I feel like it's too big. Like she's too important to Lumon for them to, like, you know, leave her, let her do it completely unsupervised, you know?
Yeah.
Also, where were Milchick and Miss Wong? Like, they like had their little IKEA village for the innies, and then they just disappeared. Like,
they went home.
Out of the holodeck. Yeah.
Yeah, they left the holodeck. I think their home is at Lumon, personally.
So it makes sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know that they actually have a home outside of Lumon.
The only time we've seen Milchick outside of Lumon is going to people's houses to yell at them. We've never seen them at home.
Yeah. By the way, I find it really interesting. When we saw him on a motorcycle, I had assumed that Tremel Tillman rode a motorcycle. Because that seems to be like the way it usually works, you know? An actor rides a motorcycle, so they write it into the script. But he learned to ride a motorcycle for the show.
Oh, neat.
So they wanted Milchick to ride a motorcycle. I wonder why that is, why they wanted him riding a motorcycle. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Do I even have to ask you your MVP?
No, you already know the answer. For both, I mean, probably.
Yeah. Is anybody's MVP not Irving?
It's Irving. It's Irving by a mile. It's Irving by 120 miles.
Yeah.
Irving, he had the gangsterest line delivery in like the history of television, basically.
Seriously.
Like,
look at his face. Just look at that. Like,
do it, sat. I had to get that. Like, I couldn't.
Just the smug anger.
Gives me chills. Chills.
God.
Is anyone's LVP not Helena Egan?
Yes.
Racist?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Helena is going in the break room for a long time.
1,000 years break room.
Yeah. Irving gets all of the perks, just all of them.
Yeah.
Any amount of perks. He gets a conjugal with Bert too.
Yeah. I was gonna say date. He and Bert get a co-waffle party.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets a private waffle party with Bert.
Tully gets 12 years break room, 7 years no trials.
Yeah.
That's
And then she also gets to to sit in the Audi visitation suite and watch and watch Mark have sex with Gemma.
yeah.
Um but all
Clever.
right. Well, we will be back next week. Thank you all for checking out this episode. Please give us a like and leave a comment. It really helps us in the algorithm, and we're just starting out with our coverage, so we could really use the boost in views. So if you want to toss a like and a subscribe and a comment our way, we'd love you for it. That's all for this week. Join us every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern when we go live. It's me, Jazzy, and Dawn, and we talk about the brand new episode of Severance. You can join the live chat, call in, or just sit back and watch whatever you're feeling up to. And we will see you real soon. Bye, guys. Praise
Praise
Gear.
here.